So I would say like your vocabulary is pretty good. I think listening and grammar, you can work on that. So I would
Mhm.
say you're probably like at the upper half of beginner.
Mhm.
You're easy to
Okay.
understand, which is good too.
Yes, yes, I too easy to understand for English, but for probably what happened that mostly that I am to speaking the stranger person. That some, for I know for the most of the grammar knowledge about that formulae, like for the future continuous perfect tense, or there is also so many there. But whenever I am to speaking that in my English, that automatically that happen naturally, process of the speaking. But whenever I'm trying to it is not automatic to in my mind to come here. I think it's just a practice.
Hmm. Sure. Well, and I think the best way for someone to learn if they're not attending school, the
Mhm.
best way is to have conversation as much as you can in English and to immerse yourself in the language. So watching films or listening to podcasts, anything that will help you with your listening skills and help you with your speaking skills and reading.
Mhm. Reading is also,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you like to read?
Yes, yes, I like to read, and I'm also keep reading is also in probably most of that some news and some for subtitles is also that I am to read as well as to see. Same time, both I am to do, but mostly what happen in the grammar is also very sticking out, and that's why this is the my that weak point. And but I am to try to it overcome in the future, but it hard to for myself.
Sure, sure. Um, so, well, what I could do for you, Sagar, if you want, after class, I can send you a message, and um, I can send you a link to a website that helps you with learning grammar. There's like different exercises that you can do, and it explains how certain like phrasal verbs work and stuff like that. If you think that will be helpful for you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And have you ever used Angu.com?
Which?
Angu, it's a website that has different exercises for
Yes, yes,
practicing
I heard
English.
about for, but I am not used that.
You have not used it? Okay. Yeah. I would recommend practicing English with that. I use it with a lot of my students, and I always encourage them if they feel like they want to do some extra work outside of class. It's a good resource.
Yes, yes. And for that something is the new. Suppose the vocabulary is also that in my I'm to read that. Suppose to five making of that words. It's a new to add for in day by day, and it's also very helpful. And so many I am to vocabulary that note down in my the that book as well as so many. This is also very helpful, my thing.
Yeah. I'm actually. It's funny that you bring that up, like learning a new word, because I'm trying to learn the language here in the Philippines, and I've chosen to do that. Like I try and learn one new word every day, so I have more vocabulary.
And you live right now for Philippines or other.
I live in the Philippines. Yeah, I live right
And
near the capital.
okay, and Philippines, it's their two native language. It's very different Philippines.
So the Filipino language is Tagalog. It's kind of in some ways it's similar to like Spanish and
Mhm.
Portuguese, but because the Spanish and the Portuguese were they had colonies here, so a lot of their language influenced the Filipino language. So, but there's a lot of English that's used in Tagalog as well. So that makes it a little bit easier um, when learning it because a lot of people here in this country they will use a combination of Tagalog and English when they're talking. So that's helpful for me. So I don't feel so much pressure to know every word.
because for different language you are to speaking, it's very good idea, and you have to get a very good knowledge like for the different persons and other persons. If you have to so many language to speaking, and it's also very skillful.
Hmm. Yeah.
And please teach us slogans, what's your hobbies?
My hobbies. Well, I mentioned before that I did acting, so I consider that a hobby. Um, I mostly do that for fun, not for work. Um, I like writing. I like going for walks. I love movies. Um, trying to think of what else. Hmm.
Okay, just not thinking about very much because
Yeah,
you are one
yeah,
directions going
yeah.
to. Okay.
But those are the main things. Yeah. So
Yes.
movies, writing, acting, going for
It's I
walks.
think movies and reading. It's actually it's very normal some, hobbies. Each and every person's life, because they are to going to very for bored something. Supposed to you have to bored and just going on the mobiles and see something. That's
Sure.
every person that mentality that has to make.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, one of the things I like about like with acting is that well, it's good exercise for your mind because it
Mhm.
helps you memorize things. I also find that it helps me to be more confident because I get to pretend to be somebody that I'm not.
Yes.
Sometimes there's certain things about myself that I can't be as my normal self, but when I'm playing a character, I can do and say all these crazy things that I normally wouldn't do, and it's very it's very like liberating. It makes me feel good being able to do that in some way.
Yes, and for that, in our hobbies that make us supposed to bored, and they are to get very energetic feeling, and some little bit of the confidence our increases day by day.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what about you? What are your hobbies, Sagar?
Just my hobbies, for something new learning that's not depend on. Suppose it's movies, and that I'm not see mostly, but podcast on YouTube channel that other is also to learning. You like for supposed to I like for the singing. You like for movies. I like to singing something songs that hurt to my, it's very good like. And
Okay,
other is also that going to other places to visit the other stranger places, like to you and to you a knowledge something new to learning for.
okay,
I am just now just right now I am to learning English. This is also a new thing I am to learning in the future day is also. This is just my hobbies, and other also some podcast, inspirational podcast I am to learn, and I am to doing a job in the college. That is also very good. This is to conversation with student as well as other is also. This is also it's nice too.
yeah, yeah. What kind of what kind of podcasts do you enjoy listening to? That educate you.
For it's not like for the any kind of the podcast I have to see in the English mostly, because I'm to learning English, and that's why it's probably most of the English to I'm to improving. That's why I'm to do that. And most of the I think new learning something like for the inspirational is also, and for some tips they are to use like for the development of the some for yoga, as well as something like for the how to improve for the our personality, and how to improve for our for communication system
Hmm.
skill, as well as this kind of the podcast mostly I am to say see and this is kind of the it's not depend on the which is favorite and which is the just I am to it's depend on my mood.
Okay, I got I got a question for you. Have you ever read have you ever read this book?
Jordan B.
So
Peterson.
Yeah, 12 rules for life.
No, I am not to read.
Okay. You might like this.